what is the purpose of privacy, and why is its loss on the internet so damaging? Because privacy is what protects that right of inquiry that leads to progress. When we talk about privacy, the privacy right, there's always somebody out there, verbally retweeting that if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear, which originates from the actual literal Nazis and their Minister of Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels. But the reality of privacy is that privacy was never about something to hide. Privacy was about something to protect. Privacy is the right to the self. It allows you to be different and distinct from the majority. Rights in general don't exist to advantage or protect the majority. The majority doesn't need them. The majority decides the laws. The majority is what the system protects, generally. Rights are the only prong of the system that protects the minority against the majority. Why do we do that? Is it just because we're nice? Is it just because we've sort of evolved so far that we can become benevolent? No, I think in a coldly practical way, it's because the people who write the rules in many countries had to go through a revolution in order to do that. They had to exist for at least a moment as a minority, and that opened their eyes to the fact that it is the differences amongst us that provide those seeds of progress. If you stand them with the majority, there's tremendous good you can do for society. It's not to say, having a majority opinion, to be a normal person, to be the average of the average, is in any way undesirable. But when you have a difference, when you think differently, when you see differently, when you speak differently, when you feel differently, when you just want to try something, when you want to see how something works out, if that is dangerous to you, if that is risky, if that is harmful to you, you are disincentivized to try it. And then society has lost something meaningful, because that is our only way to break from the orthodoxies of history, the way that things have just been done, are done today, and have always been done, and to try something new, right? Most of the things that people do differently are not valuable or not useful or not good, or they could actually actively be harmful or bad. But particularly when they're done on an individual level, particularly when they're done on a small level, they are the engine of all human progress. They are what drove us out of the swamp of history to what we have today in the spaces that it's better and worse. But when we talk about that language of privacy, the privacy right, insofar as it's constructed by reading into the penumbras of the Constitution in the United States and elsewhere, sometimes, fortunately, more explicitly around the world, we have to recognize that all things that belong to an individual derive from privacy. It's the reason we call it private property. It means you have a stake on something, even if only your own mind, your own self, your own soul, distinct from the claims of society.